What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar with C-Zar Gets Crypto, and today we are talking about Bitcoin. Whether or not you've seen me before, I would really appreciate it if you left a like, if you would subscribe. If you haven't seen me before, if you have seen me before, we're gonna go over some things that I have said and hopefully some new stuff. I'll go over the general gist of where I think Bitcoin's going, why I think it's going there with like the main key points, and then I'm going to talk about what I think it's going to do, today, tomorrow, in like the immediate term time frames. But I guess I'd like to start on the weekly. I want to start on the weekly, and I really want to focus on this. And if you've been following the channel for a while, you know that I've been talking about this. If you're new to the channel, I know I've got some new subscribers recently. If you're new to the channel, you can do this yourself if you want to go on the RSI. The RSI that I have set up is the 10, and I have a 123 RSI as well. But right now I want to focus on the 10. So anytime in Bitcoin's history, and anytime, you can go right now, BTC USD, the index, right? All-time history index. This is everything. Anytime on a weekly basis that this RSI has gone from being overbought above this dashed line here, out of the purple zone into the black zone, when it's been overbought and it comes down below the 50, every single time that Bitcoin has done this, it has made a dramatic move to the downside. From top to bottom, from like right here, this is a top over here, but like this top is relative to this overboughtness. And from this top going below the 50, so the major move that's always happened has been 52% or larger. It's been 52% or larger. They've always been large moves, but the smallest one was 52%, okay? And when I say they've always been large moves, as in like when the RSI, when these conditions are met, when the RSI is overbought and then it goes below the 50. I'm not talking about when it slightly goes below the 50 like this and then bounces. Here we are below the 50, we close below the 50 just like we did here, but there's 5 days and 6 hours left in this week. We could bounce, but we would need to bounce. If we close this week red, then this is confirmed. To me, this is confirmed. We open and close a week below the 50, it's confirmed. And what I mean by it, and what I mean by confirmed, is inevitably, from top to bottom, we're going to see a 52% drop, which, by the way, if we were to put a line at the current low, that would be at 15,400, where a 52% drop would put us at about 14,800, 850, something like that, if it's closer to 52. I'll try to get it as close as I can. I don't know. But 14,850, let's give it that. A few $100s below the current low. And if we go here, here's my thought on this. I want to just like drill this home. If this happens, and when it happens, is it going to stop there? This is the lowest drop. Whenever we've seen these kind of conditions, going from overbought and oversold every single time in Bitcoin's history. And when I say overbought to below the 50, I don't mean moments like this where we're overbought and we went down, but we did not go below the 50. We held the 50 here, right? We held it there. And yes, we went slightly below, but we held it. We bounced off the 50. And you can see these moves weren't dramatic moves to the downside. These dramatic moves to the downside always came coupled with overbought to below the 50 moves, okay? And then, yes, it went lower after that even. But, maybe I should do another video. Maybe we can look at that in a second. But what I really want to say is that the minimum move out of all, I think there's been 13 iterations. This would be the 14th, or there's been 12 and this would be the 13th, something like that. Out of all of them, the minimum move has been 52%. And we've never, ever, ever in any bear market had a bear market that double topped, had a bear market that went on this long. If we were to drop this low, if this statistic is a 100% thing, and nothing's 100%, eventually this statistic is going to, either the drops are going to get less, or, it's going to have a one-off. Like nothing is ever 100%. But for now it is. And for now, it's been very spot on. And with the current conditions that we're experiencing, not just on the charts, but in the world economic situation we got going on globally with high inflation everywhere, people are uncertain about like the Russia-Ukraine situation, the United States. People are uncertain about our government and about the dollar. There's a lot of talk of World War III happening, which I don't think is going to happen. It could. Who knows? Nobody knows the future. But there's a lot of undecisive like craziness going on in the world right now. Is this the kind of conditions where we're going to see a 52% drop, the smallest drop that we've seen? Are we going to see that, or are we going to see something that's more on par with like the 70% drops we've seen, or even a bigger drop than that. A 70% drop, by the way, would put us at a price below $10,000, and I do think we're going to go there. But I'm rambling. I'm rambling too much. I want to get into, you know, that's ultimately the general theme of this channel right here. And right now, we are below the 50. It is not convincing yet. It is looking good. It's looking like it wants to break to the downside. A lot of things are suggesting that this wick to the upside to start the week is not a good way to prove me wrong. But I do think this low is going to take this. We're going to take this low out, or even this low out in this move. It's going to happen in June, and not all of it, but most of it is probably going to happen in June. That's my expectation. You know, if we go. 1 second. We're going to look at the immediate term stuff in just 1 second, I promise. But if we go back and we measure, I've done this before a few times. You know, you take Bitcoin and you go from top here to bottom to its lowest point in price. That took 10 weeks. It's a weekly scale. You go from top here, oops, I missed the top. Top here to bottom, that was 11 weeks, right? Top here to bottom here, and I'm not going to the absolute bottom, right? I'm just going like top to bottom. I'm going along with these moves that I feel like they're obvious. I hope they seem obvious to you. But the main thing that I'm looking at, not just the moves themselves, but how long it takes. You got 10 to 14 bars. They're all very similar, in a very similar range. And you know, every single one of these drops too, I'm going to measure them now. They've all dropped pretty substantially. From top to bottom, this was our 10-week one, 55%. This was our 11-week one, 52%. That's actually the smallest drop right there from being overbought to going below the 50. This was the smallest one right here. This was the last one. Are we going to get two of the smallest ones together? I don't think so. You know, here 63%, and we dropped lower afterwards. We came back above the 50, but we dropped lower afterwards. 63%. This one looks small, but still 38%. Okay, and those all took. This one took 14 weeks. Okay. But anywhere from 10 to 14 weeks on these last like 4 iterations. So if we went to 10 weeks, right now we're already on the 9th week. If we took 10 weeks, 11 weeks, 14 weeks, whatever, let's say it took 14 weeks. That would be 5 weeks from now. Within the next 5 weeks, we're going to see resolution. And what I mean by that is not that's when we're going to start moving. I mean that's when we're going to find the bottom. And when I say the bottom, it's not the bottom. Right? This was the bottom for this move, but it went up and then it came down, right? It went up for like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, like 2.5 months or like 2 months, you know, something like that. It went sideways and then it went down lower and then it did the same thing and then it went down lower. You know what I mean? So I think the resolution, the bottom for this move, this first move that we're going to see here, I think it's going to take place in the next 5 weeks. I don't think that the move is starting. I think it's already started. It started 9 weeks ago, but we're going to see the resolution. Now the thing is, going back to what's on the chart, what kind of resolution can we expect? When I say resolution, again, I mean the bottom, like the entirety of the move. When this move is resolved, what can we expect? Well, we can expect anything from a 38% to a 55, 63%, you know, in relative kind of expectations. You know, it's probably not going to be any of these numbers exactly. It might be. It could be a little bit more than 63. It could be a little bit less than 38. I think it's going to be bigger than 38. I don't think we're going to have the smallest one because this 38% move to the downside, it happened at the end of this down move, right? It happened right before we had this little uptick, right? It happened that you can see the angle if you just look at it from like without anything on it perspective. Very quick to the downside, and then it moved sideways. It was kind of in this range. We've kind of been in this range really since June of last year. We've kind of just been in the same range. My question is, getting back to it, is do you think we're going to have the smallest drop that happened at the end of the down move, or are we starting a down move now, so we're going to have a drop that's more something to do in common with like drops after an up move? I think it's going to be bigger than 38%. So from top to bottom, I mean 38% in itself would take us lower than this low here. Okay, a 38% move in itself would make us lower than this low. So we're going to take out this higher low, higher high trend, confirming that we might be starting a new that the uptrend is over and that we might be starting a new trend. I don't think it's going to stop there. I think a 52% move would make sense, and a 52% move, again, would take us below this already. When I'm talking about this here on the weekly, going below the 50 and generating a move that at a minimum has been 52% every single time, this is going to happen quick. And it doesn't, we're 9 weeks into it. Most of the time it's been around 10 or 11 weeks. This means it could happen literally next week or this week. And when I say it, I mean the real breakout, not the bottom. The bottom could happen this week. It could happen 5 weeks from now. It could happen more than that. We don't know. But out of the relative, downtrends that we've seen, what I'm expecting from that's what I'm projecting on the charts here. I would expect that we will see the bottom of this move, and that the bottom of this move will probably be down here. If not below this low, definitely below this low. And if we go below this low, I don't think it's going to stop there. I think we're going to go definitely below $17,000 on this move, and that is going to happen. The bottom of this move, whether it's below 15,000 or below 17,000, definitely below 20,000, whether it's below any of those numbers, the bottom of this move is going to happen in the next week to 4 weeks, 5 weeks from now. It's going to happen. That's the bottom, but we're going to see the breakout soon. And if we go back, I'm going to take all these off now. If we go back, this move here took 11 weeks to move to the bottom, right? But we had 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, really. It says 4, but really 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all of these were in the same price range. We moved sideways for like 5 weeks. We dipped, we had a big week this week down, but we came back up, and this was the start of the sideways movement for 4 weeks after that. And then we moved down. You know what I mean? We've been moving sideways now for 9 weeks. We could totally move down, like let's see here. Here we kind of slightly moved down, right? We slightly moved down. And out of this whole 14 weeks that it took, really one week here, 1 week here, this moved us down, and then that third week there brought us down. So out of those 14 weeks, it took 3 of them to get us to the low, right? And in that kind of perspective, if you hear what I'm saying, right? It took, like, there's 14 weeks here, but really only this candle, I'd say this candle or this one, whichever one you want to choose. They're basically the same. And then this one. Those are the ones that moved us down. Everything else is just noise in between. And that's what we're seeing right now. I think we're just seeing the noise in between, but it's at the start, and we're about to see the real move. It's going to happen. And, when I say a real move, this one's 22% in a week. This one's 22% in a week as well. 11% in a week, 15%, stuff like that. I really think it's going to be greater than 20%. It could be this week, it could be next week, it could be a few weeks later. I do expect it to happen soon, but a month from now is still soon. But I would expect it to happen sooner than that. I'm expecting it to happen or start this week. Like, we're going to start to see a move, a candle that is probably greater than 10%. On the note of that, the daily RSI looks terrible. And we have seen bigger candles than these ones. But the biggest we've seen in the last 215 days, I'll measure it, we'll go over it together. But this one right here, 9.5, I can see the percentages up here, right? Follow it along with me. 9.59%, 8.88%, okay? 7.32, 9.54. So 9.59, 9.54. Those are the biggest candles right there. Right? Definitely the biggest. This one over here was 6%, 5.8%. This right here, this green candle, this one right here, that one, it was 10.5%. And I know the other ones were 9.5. It's a percent off. They're close, but we have not seen a candle since November 10th of 2022. We have not seen a candle that was 10% or larger in that amount of time. And this is, in fact, the longest spell in Bitcoin's history. And this is to the up or the downside. And when I say percentage, the wick went up higher than 10%. It had a range higher than 10%. We've had candles with ranges higher than 10%. But from a candle body, from an open to close, a closing basis perspective, we have not seen a 10% or greater candle in 215 days. It's been 200, including that, or I guess 216 days, 215. Including that day, it's been 216. The longest stint that we ever had in Bitcoin's history before this of going without a 10% day on a closing basis was, I think, 160 days. I went through and I did it all. I'm not going to do it now because it takes too long, but you can do it yourself if you want to. But the longest stint that we ever had before this, I think it was in 2015, and it was 160 days. We are now 215 days, well past that, without a 10% day of movement from open to close. We are overdue. We are overdue. Keep that in mind we are overdue with the resolution to this move from the top to the bottom. We're already in week 9. And generally, the last 4 times this has happened since we've topped in this bear cycle, right? Or like in the relativity, the price action that's relative to what time zone we're in now. You know what I'm trying to say? I know what I'm trying to say. They've been at a minimum of 10 weeks to 14 weeks. And we are right now in that range. We're closing in on it. We're 1 week away. We're 6 days, 5 days away from getting into that 10-day to 14-day thing. Or 14-week thing. 10 week to 14 weeks. It could take longer. It could take less time. We could see resolution by now. But to do that, I mean, man, if we were to drop like 40% this week, that would be ridiculous. That would just be that would be insane. And I don't expect that. I expect that we will start to prove that this move is in motion this week. I think that we're going to see that. And really, the proving of it was this bearish engulfing candle up here, this top, this weeks and months of downside. But it's going to it'll be more obvious. It's not so obvious now. There's still a lot of hope for bullish people. And I would say, even with this, there is hope. If we close this week green and we look like we're bouncing off this 50 here, I will redact and retract and just decline everything that I've said for the past couple weeks, because then it's going to look very bullish. Every time that we've bounced off the 50, whether it's from the up or the down, it's always been significant. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think, if we look at it on the daily perspective, we've been rejecting this shorter-term RSI a lot. We are below the purple line right now. The RSI, the long-term RSI, is above the 50, but it looks like it wants to come below it. It doesn't look good to me. It really doesn't look good. We keep getting lower closes. We even went up and tested resistance on this line today. There's no volume coming in. The only volume coming in is to the downside. Every bullish move we have is really bearish. This bullish engulfing candle is just a lower high with no volume. If we look at it on a 4-hour basis, you can see here declining volume as we move up, and we're starting to pick up volume as we have an engulfing candle to the downside. I think really we're about to see it. We're on the foregrounds of it for sure. When I say it, I mean the beginning of this move. We're in the winding up phase, but we're actually going to expand out of this zone soon. And the resolution, the bottom of this, again, out of all of them, we've had the 52, 55, and a 60-something% one, and then this one was a 38% drop. That was at the bottom of this down move. I don't think we're going to see a 38% drop. A 38% drop, again, would put us right below this previous low. Right below there. I don't think price is going to stop if we do that. There's going to be a lot of people who are going to be concerned that we're not in a bull market anymore. And prices are going to go lower. People really are going to, accept that. And I think sure, maybe, we have a 40% drop or a 46% drop. Maybe that's the first leg. And then we don't get below 15,000 until the third leg. Okay, maybe. But if we were to do 52% or more this month of June, it would not surprise me. It would really not surprise me. Or at least before the middle of July, it would really not surprise me. Because we have all the right circumstances for it. We really do. Everything's lined up. Short of a bounce this week, closing green this week, everything is lined up. So that's all I got to say for Bitcoin. It's just more of the same. I guess I'll give a little bit more of an in-depth analysis on the immediate term right now. Because we were getting into it, but I was talking about a lot of long-term stuff and the same stuff that I just normally talk about. We're getting bearish engulfing candles. BART, this BART pattern here, little BART here, BART there. Price doesn't know what it wants to do. It's just moving sideways. Volume is picking up as we're moving down. We are, making lower lows just steadily. I am expecting a spectacular move to happen soon, but maybe it doesn't happen today. Maybe it doesn't happen tomorrow. Maybe we just move sideways, but I wouldn't be surprised in the coming days, if not today even, if we started to get some resolve to the downside. So personally right now, I would not be looking to long. I would definitely not be looking to long. If I was to take a short, I think here's as good of a point as any to take a short. to go short. You are below the purple line here. You're below the 50 on the long-term RSI, below the 50 on the short-term. Bearish engulfing candle with the combo of high volume, relatively speaking, you know. Like, look at, just look at, this is what I mean by low volume. Look at how high this volume is here, right? It's basically the same as these spikes over here, but this candle was dramatically smaller than that candle, right? This candle, I guess it's about the same, but that was the real move. People bought, you know, but this was the fake move. I don't know. Fake moves get sold out on, you know. Same thing here. This down move was probably a fake move. It looks like a lot of volume, but I mean, is it? Like, is it really? Like, not really. It's just more of the same stuff we've been seeing. It's not, you know, so that's why all these moves, they're just faking people out. A lot of people are going short and long, and the exchanges are making money on these positions being open. So whether or not the positions are in profits or losses or whatever. Anyways, if I was to go short, I think I would go short now. This would probably be a good time to go short. Not financial advice, but that's just what I would do. Maybe it goes a little bit higher. Maybe we go back up to the purple line, but, you know, 26,000. We're at 25,885 on an asset like this. If you want to go short up there, go short up there, I guess. But, like, I don't know. We really might be going down from here. So I don't know, man. It depends. If this hour, well, we got 50 seconds left. If this hour closes green, which it looks like it's going to, we're getting out of the bearish control zone. We bounced off the oversold zone. You know, in this range where we're just sideways and we're not doing anything, and we didn't get really overbought and we haven't gotten really oversold. It wouldn't surprise me if we went back up to the top of this range above the purple line before making another move down, and hopefully that move, and probably that move, will go lower. This move, where we've been having higher highs, we actually have a lower low on a closing basis now that took out like all these lows, right? So I bet this move will actually be the first lower high of this little sideways whatever trend, and then we're going to start going lower after that. So maybe we do go up a little bit from here. You know, we got 13 seconds left, short of like a quick little flash dump. I think this does look good. If I was to say it looks good on an hourly basis, what I mean is from here to here, you're going to move up like less than 1%. You know, you're not going to move up. That's what good is. Maybe 1% even. You could move up probably not even 2%. But if you use high leverage, I'm sure you could make a decent position in here. But again, we're at the foregrounds, man, of a bigger move to come. And if you're on the wrong side of it, whether it's up or down, if you're on the wrong side of it, it's not good. I do think we're going to go lower, but for the time being, we're going to go up our less than 1% move. So if you want to go short here or there or whatever, you know, that's probably all right in my opinion. And on the weekly basis, man, I don't know. I'm very bearish on this for sure. I think that might be everything. On the monthly basis, you know, we went below or above the 50 and then came back below it and closed. We were above the 50 for a little bit, but I would call this a rejection of the 50. Just like this here is finding support off the 50. And we don't have too many iterations on the monthly. Because it's the monthly, it takes a long time to form. Years, you know, to get significant readings. But you barely went below the 50 here, and you came above it. We had a significant move afterwards, right? Let's see right here. Barely went below the 50 here, and then, you know, a little sideways after, and a significant move afterwards. This time it's reversed. We barely went above the 50 here, and now we're below. I really wouldn't be surprised, man. I really would not be surprised if this was just the beginning of a move that will be larger than, I mean, from top to bottom, larger than 69%. Yeah, that's my ultimate expectation. Ultimately, you take this fib tool, you take the fib retracement, you go from bottom to high. On a monthly scale, it makes it look a lot less noisy. You know, it's a lot less chatter. And you can just see these lines here, the 1272, 1414, 1618. If you don't know how to plug it in yourself, double click on it. I think you have to double click on it. I don't know if you can. Yeah, you can't do it from here. Maybe you can, but I just don't know. But double click on it, and you can plug in your own coordinates here. You can type in whatever numbers you want. And the point of this is not to type in whatever numbers you want. You type in numbers that correspond to the Fibonacci retracement ratio. Ratios of retracement, whatever. They're ratios, and we measure the retracements based around those ratios. That's what I'm trying to say. They're not ratios of retracement. They are, but what I'm trying to say is put these numbers in on your own fib if they're not there. 1272, 1414, 1618, the 1886, maybe the 1786 if you want. But I would put all those numbers in there because I very much think that this range, as big as it is, this is the range where I think we're going to bottom. And I don't think it stops there. I think it could go as low as this, but somewhere in this range. And maybe it goes lower. Maybe, honestly, it could go even lower. The 2272 is not out of the question. I doubt it. I very much do doubt it, but it's not out of the question. I would think that we do have a solid chance of going below 8,000. Maybe we wick below that 1886, but we hold it on a closing basis on a monthly. I could see something like that happening. But right now, I'm definitely under the impression that we are going to go at least below 13K, and I very much believe that we're going to go below 10K. This is just the start of it. Here we are at 25.8 right now, and this is just the start of it, man. 17 days left in this month. There's a lot that can happen, so we'll see. But that's all I got for you guys for now. If you like the content, leave a thumbs up, subscribe. I'll put more content out every single day. I try to provide like a decent perspective and not just like speak out of my ass. A lot of it is more of the same. Bitcoin's been really boring. I mean, we've been in the same price range for months now, but we are getting toward exciting times, and we're going to get some resolution soon. And anyone who's been following this channel, hopefully you're prepared for that move, because I know a lot of people are bullish right now. If you're still in the video, let's take a walk on the Twitter stream real quick. I think, what was it, CoinMarketCap, yeah. They did a poll. Let's see. Where are you? Where is this poll? I thought I saw it. Maybe I didn't. I don't know. 13 hours ago. They would have had it by now. Right here. Here we go. So, 1 day left in this poll. There's 5,566 votes. Are you team bull or bear? And right now, with everything going on, everybody... CoinMarketCap, by the way, is one of the biggest websites in crypto, And so I would, and a poll with 5,500 votes isn't the biggest, but it's significant enough, in a space like crypto especially. 2/3 of this poll think that we're in bull mode right now. So generally, the market acts in a way that hurts people, right? If most people are bullish right now, market's probably going to go down, because most people don't win in scenarios like this. It's not the many that make money in the markets. If that was the truth, everybody would do it. But not everybody does, because the many don't make money in the markets. The few do. And this is a good metric. This is why contrarianism is a good kind of idealism to adopt if you're going to be a technical analyst, because being aware of the charts is one thing, but being aware of what everybody thinks, they could be the most bullish charts ever, but if everybody thinks they're bullish, if everybody's looking at the same thing and everybody's saying that, that should be a concern. There should be a red flag, going on. They say when your grandma calls you, that's the best time to sell. When your grandma calls asking, hey, can you help me buy some Bitcoin? I see it's been doing well. I'd like to buy it. They say that that's a good time to sell. And I swear, every time that my grandma has hit me up, Grandma, I love you, but I swear, any time that we've gone without talking for a long time and you've hit me up about buying crypto, it has been around the top. It's definitely been around the top. We talk more now, I talk to my grandma now, in the bear market, and we're definitely, I don't think that we're in a top, anything like that, but it's more of an expression, it's like people who, and I guess grandma's a bad example of that expression, because you should be keeping up with your grandmothers. I'm going to call you Grandma. I love you. I know she watches these videos sometimes, so I'm definitely going to call her after this. But it's more of an expression about people who you might not keep in touch with day to day, and whenever they finally are hitting you up about something that it's kind of, I don't know if it's out of character, or maybe you have friends in high school who you haven't talked to in 10 years, and then the first thing you hear from them is, hey man, can you help me buy some Bitcoin, or can you help me out with this? I want to buy some blah, blah, blah. That should be a sign that we're about to go down. And generally that kind of stuff happens whenever you have people who don't know what they're getting involved with, asking people who do know what is going on. And I don't know everything that's going on, but I'm just saying, when you have an inexperienced person asking someone who is experienced, generally, if it's on the inexperienced person's radar, that means it's on a lot of people's radars. If they're hearing one thing and they think it's a good idea, this person with no experience, it's probably a bad thing. It's probably a bad idea. The markets, the media, they target people like that who are not aware of the circumstances and the conditions. And there's a reason why most people buy high and they don't sell high. I'm getting on a whole different tangent here, but I feel like this should say a lot. A lot of people, I voted bear. I'm definitely a bear. But most people are definitely bullish. If you hear anybody on YouTube, on Twitter, on TikTok, whatever, talk about how everybody's bearish right now, just go on the media yourself, man. Go on it. Go look and tell me if everybody's bearish, because I think everybody's bullish. There's a couple bears out there. There's a couple big name bears out there. I'm a small name. I'm a little bear, but I'm bearish, man. There's a lot of people. A lot more people are bullish right now, and I think we're going to experience the most dramatic bear market that Bitcoin's ever experienced. We're right in the middle of it right now. It's not over. It's not over. We're in the middle of it. We're at the last leg of it, actually. We're 2/3 of the way through of it, I would say. We're in the last 30 to 33% of it. Anyways, I think I beat this over the head enough times. Beat the head. I feel like that just sounds wrong. So with that, I'm going to log out, clock out, get out. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Thank you for coming. If you like the content, leave a like, subscribe. I will post more videos. I am going to do a live stream at some point here soon. I got the authorization for that on YouTube, so I'm going to do live streaming here soon. Probably once we get a big move. I'll probably do a live stream in once we finally do something. That's probably what I'll do. So until then, I'll just keep making these videos that aren't live, but they're not dead, and I will keep making them, keeping you guys up to date with what I think's going on in the market. And I appreciate all the new subscribers. I appreciate all the likes and love, and just thank you guys. Thank you very much. You guys are my OG crew right now, man. Like all of you. I need to go through and memorize everybody's names, because it's important, man. It's cool. It's really cool. My top 100 people. So anybody who's still watching this, and even if you're not at this point and you're not hearing it, I really appreciate you guys. Thank you all. It means a lot. Really means a lot. So thank you. Take care. Until next time. Peace out.